Good morning. Welcome to this Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst. My name is Marlena Rice, and I participate in the life of this congregation by volunteering as your worship associate today and being on the justice advocacy team and helping out in other places. There is joy and meaning in service. I hope you will also find ways and places to serve in this beloved community. For those gathered in the chapel, I urge you to actually turn off your phone completely to free up bandwidth for our live stream. Our Wi-Fi is a bit wobbly, and we want our online community to have as full an experience as possible. If you need a little extra hearing support, we have assisted hearing devices at the usher stations at the back of the chapel. Feel free to borrow one for the service. Also, if you are seated below the loft, you might want to move forward. It is slightly cooler in the larger space.
I add my welcome to Marlena's. I'm Rev.Michelle Buhite, the minister of this congregation. My pronouns, which I offer to create a truly inclusive and brave space for all to live into the fullness of our identities, are she and her. I should warn you, I'm a minister. Oh, wait, I said that already. But I'm like a ministerish minister. I went to seminary, we learned stuff. I call us to worship with an invitation from my mentor, David Bumbaugh, and his late wife, Beverly. So if words like church, wonder, appreciation, and compassion give you the heebie-jeebies, I'm sorry. I don't have better words. I have minister words. So maybe you can listen for the love inside those words and the love that I have for you. Our church exists to proclaim the gospel that each human is infinitely precious, that the meaning of our lives lies hidden in our interactions with each other. We wish to be a church where we encounter each other with wonder, appreciation, and expectation, where we call out of each other's strengths, wisdom, and compassion that we never knew we had. Our gathering music this morning comes straight out of the brand new virtual UU hymnal. So please open your hymnals. Your virtual ones, sorry. Okay, you won't find it there, but you'll find it on the screens. So and this music is going to be woven throughout the service today. So if you don't get it on the first try, you will have multiple opportunities. And it's not around, so you're welcome. This song is penned by my friend and colleague, Reverend Randy Partain. And Randy currently serves our congregation in Shaker Heights, Ohio. So let me share with you the circumstances that compelled Randy to write this song. They write, at a gathering of spiritual directors, Pat McCabe, whose name in Diné is Woman Stands Shining, shared a beautiful, heart-opening song in the Diné language. It was distinctly characteristic of Diné culture, and despite its beauty, I felt that it would be inappropriate for a predominantly white UU congregation to sing this song. So I composed a song with the same spiritual intentions of connection with the divine in earth, others, and self, but with words and tunes more characteristic of the community where I ministered. Later that day, I spoke with Pat and told her how much the song had meant to me, and she offered it to me as a gift. When I told her that I had been inspired to compose something that would be more centered in the culture of my own community, she beamed with delight. We are going to sing segments of the song throughout the day, remember? Someone nod. Anybody nod? Excellent, thank you. So I'm going to move down here where I can give you some relative pitch awareness. So Gregory, if you would just play the melody through once, please. I'm smiling because there is an interpretive ballet happening at the back of the chapel. So I'm going to sing it through the first verse about the earth, and then you'll join me on Open Wide to the Song of You and Open Wide to the Song of My Soul. Okay? So. Join me on the next verse. My heart is open, open wide to the song of you. My heart is open, open wide to the song of you. My heart is open, open wide to the song of my soul. My heart is open wide to the song of my soul. Lovely.
Each week, we pause not only to acknowledge that our church is built on holy ground, but to commit ourselves to be in relationship with the land and the people who have been keepers of it since time immemorial. As a libation is poured, Rev.Michelle and I will share words from the United Nations Environmental Sabbath Program. We join with the earth and with each other
To bring new life to the land, to restore the waters, to refresh the air,
We join with the earth and with each other
to renew the forests, to care for the plants, to protect the creatures,
We join with the earth and with each other
to celebrate the seas, to rejoice in the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars,
We join with the earth and with each other
to recreate the human community, to promote justice and peace, to remember our children.
We join with the earth and with each other
We join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life.
May it be so. The weekly lighting of the chalice is a reaffirmation of our covenant with this faith and those whose lives have brought us to this place, as well as all those who will carry our light forward, making it their own and letting it shine. Today we offer chalice lighting words that invite us out of rote repetition and into the experience of new words and ideas, new promises and affirmations of what it means to gather as a people of faith. Please join me as we explore new territory with new words. May the light of this chalice give light and warmth to our community when we are joyful and when we despair. And may we feel the warmth spread from our circle to wider and wider circles until all know they belong to the one circle of life.
The chalice, symbol of our faith, invites us to open ourselves to the light of truth, as a flower seeks the sun and like a bud closed tight against the pain of change. We respond to the warmth of this beloved community and open, each petal gently unfurling to reveal the beauty that was hidden within. May we be open to the light of truth, and may we see our beauty and worth reflected in each other's eyes. Each week, we set aside a portion of our service to celebrate this gathered community, to make space for all that we bring, our joys, our hopes, our concerns, our sorrows. All that we bring is welcome here. All can be held in this container. The way that we bring this into form is by placing a stone or a shell on a table labyrinth. We have two. There's a small one in the back, and there's the larger one up front. And it is a simple gesture of trust, the trust that we place in the community, to put down for just a moment that which we are carrying with us. So as the music plays, I invite you to come forward or to use the small back labyrinth as you will. I place a final stone in recognition and in honor of those joys, concerns, and sorrows that are held by our online community. Know that you are also held in this circle of love. Sing together with me. It's the Wonder Box time. I wonder if I have any friends who'd like to join me up front. I know I have lots of friends. You brought a shark. You brought a shark to church. Okay, perfect. Don't let it get out. Sit. Come on, team. Where's the turbo team? Here they come. Here comes Sammy. Come on down. I've got a story for you. With not much happening in the Wonder Box. But I do. Wait, do you hear that? Make it a little bit of a noise. It sounds like cards. Well, that would be fun, but it's not. Oh, I see. It's 3 little bags. Well, that's interesting. If only I had a story and something to put in those bags. So I'm going to share with you a very old story told by a teacher who lived a long time ago. His name was Yeshua, and sometimes we translate that as Jesus. And he liked to tell stories that people had to really think about, like, what does that mean? And very often, those stories were meant to kind of give them a little poke, like, this story's for you. So I want to tell you a special story about a boss who had 3 workers. But I'm going to need one more thing. Oh my goodness. That's what I need. All right, so now you're all wondering what's in here. Much more interesting sound. So this boss was going to be going away for like a really long time. But he didn't want his business to stop making a whole bunch of money, right? And so he called his 3 best workers to him and said, I want to entrust you with some money, and I would like you to help grow that money, invest it. It's something that I don't understand. I was about to explain it, but I don't have that capacity. Yeah. So for the first guy, he pulled out 5 bunches of money. By the way, all of this money will go to the Jet Pig Adoption Fund, so there you go. So then he went to one of the other workers, and he was like, you know, you're kind of new to the job, so I'm going to make it easy. I'm just going to give you 2 monies. And then he went to the other guy, and he said, you know, you call in late all the time, and you take a long time to eat your lunch, and you leave early. I'm just going to give you 1, and we'll see what you can do with it. So the 5 went into that one, and the 2 went into this one, and then the 1 went into the other. This is not like a shell game. There's not going to be something exciting that happens with these. So, you know, in case you're waiting for the big moment. So the guy with 5 was very excited. And he said, you know, he was talking to his friends, sometimes our boss can be kind of hard, and it can feel kind of mean, but he trusts me. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try to double this. Ha! 5 times 2 is 10. Thank you. Thank you, the 3 of you who know your timesies. And then the guy that had 2 said, well, to the guy that had 5, if you can do it, so can I. I'm going to go out and I'm going to double mine. Meanwhile, the guy that had 1 was walking quietly away. He didn't want to be part of this conversation. And he took the money and he dug a hole. He put it in because he knew that his boss could be so mean. And he was like, I don't want to lose any money. What if I drop it and lose some? I'm going to keep it safe. And when he comes back from his trip, I'll just give it back. And everything will be great. So time passes by. That's the passing of time. And my feelings exactly. So the boss came back. I guess I shouldn't have dropped that to a place where I'm going to have to pick it up. Okay. So the boss came back, and he was like, okay, friends. He liked to call them friends, even though he was their boss. Okay, friends, tell me what you did. Did you invest wisely? Did you do something wonderful? And the guy that had 5 said, sir, ma'am, to whom it may concern, I won 2. He did this with great drama. 3, 4, and 5. I doubled your investment. And, you know, he didn't get to keep this money for himself. He was giving it to his boss, right? Because it was the boss's money. So look at all this. Now it's so full. And the boss was so happy with him. And he said, you did a really great job. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to give you a cake. There you go. I added the cake. Jesus didn't talk about cake. And, whoops. I can't count. So the guy that had 2 said, I know I only had 2, but I also doubled it. 1, 2. That makes 4. I can count. There you go. And the boss was really happy with him because he said, you know, you're new and you did this thing and I'm really proud of you. You did great. So then he turned to the other guy, and the other guy was just like, and the boss said, okay, how did you do? And the guy said, well, I know how mean you can be. And I didn't want to get in trouble if I lost any of this. So here's your lousy 1. Huh. And the boss said, well, that's interesting. You should pick up things from your desk and go home right now, because you are not a worker that I can work with. And then, as the guy was kind of slinking off, the boss said, you who had 5 and made it 10, let's make that 11. Because I trusted you and you trusted me, and we did a good thing together. And then there's more to the story, but then it gets kind of really complicated, so we'll save that for another day. So I'm not sure what the moral of the story is, but it is about trust. It's being responsible and being trustworthy, right? You can be trusted with things. Good job. Thank you for helping me find an ending to the story. And now we're going to sing y'all to your activities. It's such a parade. It makes me so happy. I just can't even tell you. So we're going to sing this a third time as preparation for moving into maybe a more introspective listening time. I have a confession. This sermon, the prototype of this sermon, was first offered almost exactly 9 years ago. I apologize to all of you who have really good memories. And it's summer, right? So I had skimmed the text and thought it would be easy to simply do a little tweaking to make it relevant to the current iteration of UU Amherst 9 years later. What was I thinking? This sermon was first delivered when I had been at the church for just 1 year. We were embroiled in a pretty heated conversation about supporting Black Lives Matter. And we had just, I'll say somewhat grudgingly, crafted a congregational covenant to guide our interactions. You know, so it was just a really light year. There was a lot going on. So no, this is not a case of changing a few references to update a neutral sermon, which meant no easy out for this summer sermonator. Which is not a word, but shouldn't it be? Yes. I'm sure that by the end, this sermon will resemble its predecessor in name only. That said, I do believe that the time is right to have a conversation about trust, about investing in this faith home. We have many new folks, as well as a faithful core of long-timers. So, in fact, this is a little game. You must play along. Let's see who's in the room. Please raise your hand in affirmation of the category that best describes you. You don't have to wait to hear them all. You'll understand that they're sequential, so no waiting. Raise your hand if you have been attending for 30 years or more. And you're allowed to look around to see who's in the room, because this is fun. Okay, thank you. Raise your hand if you've been attending for between 15 and 29 years. Very nice. If you've been attending for 5 to 14 years. I have to put myself in that, don't I? If you have been attending for less than 5 years. Okay, look around, kids. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, yay for all of us. You'll notice that I did not ask about your membership status. Of course, we hope that you will feel like this church is your church and become a member. But for me, your presence is much more important than any status that we can attach to that. The title of this portion of the service, I'm not even going to call it this part a sermon, is Issues of Trust. So let's talk about trust. I wonder where you are on the trust spectrum, so I'd like to find out. I'm going to put the prompts up on the screen so you don't accidentally vote for the wrong thing. So, I'm going to read them through once. If your default position is to trust others and expect the general population to behave well, hold confidences, and to promote goodness, don't raise any hands yet, I'm just going through them all. If your default position is to be suspicious of others' intentions and to be wary of sharing confidences and expect that others are generally not to be trusted. The third one is if you are somewhere in the middle but leaning toward trust. And the last one, if you are in the middle but leaning toward suspicion. So now I'm going to give them to you, and you can raise your hands accordingly. If your default position is to trust others and to expect the general population to behave well, hold confidences, and to promote goodness in the world, raise your hand. Thank you. If your default position is to be suspicious of others' intentions and to be wary of sharing confidences and expect that others are generally not to be trusted, please raise your hand. I know some of you want to, but you're afraid. It's okay. If you are somewhere in the middle but leaning toward trust, please raise your hand. That feels more comfortable, doesn't it? And finally, if you are somewhere in the middle but kind of leaning toward suspicion, please raise your hand. Thank you. If you did not raise your hand for any of the above, please raise your hand. Yeah. There's always one, Mickey. What are the qualities that make someone trustworthy? So call out. This is not like paragraphs of qualities. These are single words, maybe with one and, but that's all you're given. So you can shout out and I'll repeat them so everyone can hear. Okay? Kindness, loyalty, consistency, integrity, sincerity, vulnerability, safety. Reciprocity, good word. Maturity. Oh, wait a minute, now you're going places. Yes, maturity would be great. These are good words, right? Accountability.
It's 2 words, but be your word. To be your word.
Be your word, that's 3. Good. Keep those kind of churning, right? I promise there's not a trick question. You're not going to have to remember all of them, but just kind of take those in, those qualities. So when someone trusts us, they see these qualities in us. And that feels pretty good, doesn't it? It's an honor to be trusted. All right, so there's one more hand raising, and folks in the live stream, please type "yep" into the chat if this applies to you. This is a raising of hands, and we're not going to have a conversation about it. Raise your hand if you've ever experienced a broken trust. Thank you. So take a moment and think about what that felt like. Maybe you felt angry, betrayed, stupid, like why did I possibly trust them? You might have felt physically ill or completely blindsided. Now think about if you were the one who broke a trust. Maybe you feel small, ashamed, guilty, maybe defensive, like they had it coming. By the way, I will note that I have learned from, can someone achieve sainthood while they're still living? Yes, it's a UU universe. Of course they can. So Saint Brené Brown has taught me a lot about the difference between guilt and shame. I've always said that guilt is a terrible thing to waste, right? Because guilt, when you feel guilty, it's because you did something just like you really regret. Just, why did I do that? That's not me. And you feel guilty, and usually the response internally is, I'll do better. I can do better. I won't do that again. Now I know. As opposed to shame, where guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am wrong. I am fundamentally defective. I'm not part of the good people side of the equation. And that's not useful. And we learn shame things so early on because people lovingly don't know that they are labeling us and that we are absorbing that because as little humans, we absorb a lot, right? So if someone says, you are so bad, inside, self-talk, I am so bad. Of course this happened, I am so bad. As opposed to other talk, which is more helpful of, you did a bad thing and now we need to figure out how to fix that. Then you internalize, oh, okay, I did a bad thing, shouldn't do that again, and I have the capacity to do something to make it better. Mwah. So thank you, Brené. Long live, Brené. When trust isn't present, for whatever reason isn't possible, we may revert to survival, protecting ourselves by developing a really thick skin, engaging in superficial conversations or sarcasm. Yeah, right. No, that's what that looks like. I did that on purpose. Or disengaging and maybe even isolating ourselves. Trust is earned, but not all at once. Trust is built slowly, and it can turn into something kind of cool, but it's also so fragile, and it can be smashed to smithereens in an instant. One of my favorite poems, and some of you have already started reciting it in your head because you know me, has a lot to say about trust in a poetic, indirect way. This poem, I think, could also be a treatise on UU theology. Of course, it's Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Wow. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Trust is built in reciprocity and vulnerability, but the poem doesn't end there. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. For me, this poem describes a theology of radical hospitality and trust. And it's something to which we can aspire. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, announcing your place in the family of things. It is impossible to be outside the family of things. Trust. Hard to build, easily broken, painfully restored, and worthy of preservation. On the front of your order of service is a terrifying picture of what is known as a trust fall. Maybe you've encountered something like this in a misdirected attempt at team building. It is a monstrous activity. I say it is monstrous because I was a theater major, where trust falls are a part of every actor's nightmare. I'd like to share 2 examples of my own experience. In my very first acting class in college, the instructor was describing how vital it is to trust every part of the process. Trust the playwright's words. Trust the director's perspective. Trust your fellow actors to have your back, to support you. He decided to demonstrate this to all of us with a trust fall exercise, at which time I tried very, very hard to blend into the burnt orange seat that I was sitting in. It was the early 80s. The 70s were still alive and well, so it's that orange, right? Not that it matters, I wasn't wearing orange. I was unsuccessful in my invisibility attempt. Although I was dubious, I also trusted this instructor, and I wanted to be the best little trusting actor ever. He stood behind me, encouraging me with his words, so I closed my eyes, I crossed my arms, and I fell backward into air. This instructor was pretty excitable, and he'd gotten a great new idea and scampered away just as I succumbed to gravity. I learned a big lesson that day about trust. So, second story, again in an acting class, same college. This time we were placed in a double ring, so the whole class was going to participate. And the fallers were on the inside of the circle, and the catchers were on the outside, right? I was a catcher. And I was determined to do better than my predecessor. Then the fallers took their places in front of us. The behemoth in front of me was at least 6'4" and more than double my body weight. I had also bested him in fencing class the day before, so he grinned as he got into position. He didn't fall. He launched himself at my outstretched arms, which were not up to the job. So I twisted so that I was bearing his weight on my back, right, and my shoulders, because I was not going to let him fall. Had nothing to do with him, it was all. Finally, someone helped him regain his balance and stand. So I learned a lot from that exercise. We learn to put trust in people and things. We put our trust in those we love. We put our trust in social systems, or we used to. We trust that the other drivers will stop at red lights, but we also slow down ourselves and watch and listen for cues that would indicate if they are untrustworthy or simply not paying attention. We put our trust in science. We put our trust in religion, in education, in magazines that claim a quick way to riches or maybe weight loss with no demands or expectations upon us. Maybe that's just me. We put our trust in things. We also put our trust in ideas. When my grandmother was a teenager, she had an autograph book. I think maybe it was as she was graduating from high school. And friends wrote their thoughts and quotations in this little book. I'm trying to think when this would have been. This would have been maybe 1936 or so, right around there. And so her mom, my great-grandmother, added her own insights with some lyrics for 2 hymns from the Wesleyan church that they attended. Ideas that she wanted to reinforce as her daughter moved into young adulthood. 'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at his word, just to rest upon his promise, just to know, thus saith the Lord. Some of y'all had the same hymnal. There was another big trust hit, trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. But it's not just New Testament things ideas that people put trust in. Also things from the Hebrew Scriptures. The writer of Proverbs wrote, "Put thy trust in the Lord and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." We can put our trust in ideas, like my great-grandmother and my grandmother and my mother and me, before that all went boom. We put our trust in promises, people, and things. Has anyone purchased a car ever? Okay, I'm going to imagine that the car's safety ratings were part of your process. Like, how safe is this thing? That's trust. You trusted somebody else's information about how trustworthy that vehicle would be, assuming that you did not drive it like a wild thing. And you trusted to the tune of thousands of dollars. In our Time for All Ages today, we considered the parable of the talents. As a rabbi or teacher, Jesus used stories and asked questions to share ideas and concepts, helping people to personalize the stories and make them their own, learning to trust their inner voice. Wait, you didn't learn those stories that way? Woody Allen, "Rabbi, why do you always answer a question with a question?" Rabbi, "Why shouldn't I answer a question with a question?" It has nothing to do with anything, but I just inserted it because I like it. The content of the story had to do with trustworthiness. This man entrusting, in the story, his servants, in my adaptation, his workers, with treasure, which, of course, I personalized with money, but there's a lot of different treasures, right? Just nod quietly. That's good. Perfect. So the first servant that one servant that only got one bit of money, treasure, responded with fear, right? Self-protection, buries it. The other 2 respond with freedom and grew that treasure, added value. So if we change that into self-worth, the fearful one's growth was stunted, while the ones who responded with freedom, well, they made choices and decisions that facilitated growth. So what on earth does that have to do with us? I want us to keep in mind this parable. particularly the idea that they can be fear-based choices and freedom-based choices. There is a lot going on in our world that would justify fear-based choices. I also recognize that for a growing number of people, choices based in freedom are simply not available to them. It is then that we must ask ourselves where our responsibilities lie. What must we do? In Mary Oliver's words, what must we do to announce their place in the family of things? And this is where the trust rubber meets the road. Do we trust ourselves enough to act according to our values as Unitarian Universalists? Exactly how do we affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of those who are being targeted every day by the forces of evil that have been unleashed by the current authoritarian administration? Can we be trusted to make some noise, to make a difference? Can we trust others to make a difference when we are taking a rest or simply unable to participate? I recognize that we live in dangerous times. Maybe there's not really any other kind, right? It's all just nostalgia and whitewashing. Like every generation has their dangerous times. And so with that understanding, just who can we trust? I think perhaps a more useful question is, what can we trust? It's pretty clear what we can't trust, and I will not list the bountiful things and people that have proven untrustworthy to protect the rights of all of life. So perhaps there is an answer in this poem by Robert Walsh, with which I will end. When the great plates slip and the earth shivers, and the flaw is seen to lie in what you trusted most, look not to more solidity, to weighty slabs of concrete poured, or strength of cantilevered beam to save the fractured order. Trust more the tensile strands of love that bend and stretch to hold you in the web of life that's often torn, but always healing. The shifting plates, the restive earth, your room, your precious life, they all proceed from love, the ground on which we walk together. May it be so. I think it's time to sing a little lively song, which would require, if you are willing, able to rise. We're going to sing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. It's in the Teal Hymnal 1008, which just means the 8th.
We are a generous and thoughtful people. It is with gladness that we affirm and promote our hope-filled faith. We support the work of this congregation with our time, our talents, and our treasures. And that includes both our pledges and our offerings. When you are offered the basket, please grasp it with both hands and add your blessing to those gifts, even if you are not adding a financial gift to the basket today. The offering will now be gratefully received. We began our service with the lighting of our chalice, and now we extinguish the flame, not to quench the flame, but to return it to individual hearts, strengthened by this time spent together, so that we can share our light with the world. Please join your voices with mine. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As our service draws to an end, our service to the world is ready to begin. You'll find many opportunities for growth and service in your order of service and on our website. All are invited to stay for coffee and conversation in the Emerson Room, just through the double doors at the back of the chapel and in the lobby. Sadly, the family staycation activity has been postponed due to the weather. It was storming this morning with lightning. We needed to cancel. Jet Pig. You'll see on the back of your order of service that you have the opportunity. It's not a puppet, so I can't play puppet with you. But this is it. Have an opportunity to advance, to help our children adopt jet pigs of their very own. Jet Pig, that's J-E-T-P-I-G. They will help them remember the UU values of justice, equity, transformation, jet, pig, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. We'll share the offering on September 7th in anticipation of an official Jet Pig Adoption Day on September 21st. But you can give to this effort anytime. Simply note the donation Jet Pig on the memo line of your check or on the envelope. The smiles of our children will be your reward. And now, please rise in body and spirit, as we sing our closing blessing. Don't forget to twinkle your eyes and share smiles with one another during the third verse. Remain standing afterward for the benediction.
Now twinkle. I offer these words from retired colleague Wayne Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. Go in peace. Make a difference. I wasn't even looking. That's the bad thing about this curtain of hair. I can't see anything on the sides. Oh, yeah. Hi.
Starting to sing with you.
I know.
I just knocked myself.
I would have welcomed it.
You know, the music is so interesting. And it's
Did it for you. Hey there. Hey there, scene stealer. Hey there, scene. Oh my goodness, you're wearing a tiny necklace. I can't stand it. How do you do that? How do you do all that cute? Are you a little devil in a cute suit? Yeah. Sometimes. I got your text. I just haven't done anything with it yet.
It's okay. I didn't expect a response last night or anytime soon.
So,
Just a thought.
on the second Sunday of October, Charlie and Julie and Kate are working on a combined service on mental health.
Oh, nice.
And so if you wanted to be
Okay.
into that,
See if I could rope Charlie into playing the violin for me.
that's Steve.
Oh, that's Steve. That's right. I always mix those two up for some reason.
They're tall. They're tall. So
Well, I still might try and rope him in.
yeah. Well, and so I'll connect you with the gang.
Great.
And poof.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, make sure I'm not. Oh.